92.5. Brooke and Jubal's second date update.
Having an ex call you while you're on a date is never fun.
Yeah.
I've had numerous exes bug me while I've been out on dates, like calling my phone nonstop. Now, granted, they weren't exes at the time, but they would call me and be like, "Hey, where are you? Why aren't you home? Haven't seen you in a couple days." I'm like, "Don't you know you're about to be my ex? Stop bugging me on this date."
You gotta get off me, lady.
And Kyle, who's on the phone today to do a second date update, apparently had his ex blowing up his phone the whole time he was on the date.
No.
And that's why he thinks he's not getting a call back. Kyle, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Not much.
To establish, this is a true ex, not like what Jubal just described, right?
No, this is a real crazy ex.
Okay.
So yeah,
So your email said she was bugging you the whole time. How'd that happen?
she was totally blowing up my phone, man. Texting me the whole time I was on the date, and she was just bringing up old stuff, and it was like
Oh, that's annoying.
just craziness, just stuff that doesn't even apply to everyday life.
And how long ago did you guys break up, you and your ex?
Like 6 months.
Ooh,
Wow, that's a while ago.
yeah. So has this been an ongoing problem in the last 6 months?
Yeah, every now and again, like every couple of weeks, I'll get like this barrage of insanity.
Yeah.
It probably depends on where you check in on Facebook. She's like, he's at a dinner place. He's with a girl. I'm going to call him.
And you know what, man? I don't check in anymore because of exactly that. I don't do any of that stuff.
Did she know that you were on a date?
I don't know. Probably. I don't know how she could have known because, like I said, I don't like broadcast it. I don't put it out there because I don't want to hear it, man. I don't want to get the crazy thrown at me.
Now, the girl that you went out with, did she know that she was bugging you, or was it just in your mind the whole time and it was hard to concentrate?
Dude, it got so bad that she was like, dude, you're blowing up. What's going on? Your phone is like out of control. So I kind of just told her, you know, just to kind of like get it off my chest and just be upfront about it and be like, look, I don't know, but my ex is blowing me up and it's insane, you know?
You should have been like this. See, like once you go with me, like you're never going to be the same. So I hope you know what you're getting into. Be prepared.
What is the girl's name that you were on the date with?
Alyssa.
And what was her response when you were just totally honest about what was happening?
You know, in retrospect, I think maybe it kind of weirded her out.
Really?
I mean, I got so frustrated that I was just like, look at the crazy stuff that she's showing me, and I just turned my phone around so that she could read it, you know?
Oh, no. Why would you do that? That is a horrible move.
I mean, looking back on it, it wasn't the smartest thing to do, but
No.
it just felt like she wouldn't believe me otherwise. Like, she'd think I was playing fantasy football or something the whole time I was hanging out with her. I was just trying to be up front, you know, so she didn't think I was some kind of creep.
All right, and then how did your date respond?
She kind of at first got a little quiet about it, you know, but then I ordered another bottle of wine, and we had a good time, man. I really felt like the date went fine from there, you know. It just kind of felt like it took it totally off my back, like I was free again. And it really felt like from there everything went really well, you know.
All right, so you feel like you got past that.
Yeah, definitely.
All
Yeah,
right.
I mean, I at one point I knocked over a glass of wine, it spilled a little, and I picked it back up. That got a little weird, but other than that, yeah, everything was fine.
You probably seemed like you were really shook from the whole thing. Like you're getting your phone, you're like, just look at it. Look what she's saying. Then you knock over wine.
Knocking stuff over, you know. I hope she didn't think I was wasted, you know, because I was knocking stuff over.
I got to get another bottle of wine over here. My ex is bringing up all this stuff from my past and I can't take it.
I really hope that's not what I sounded like, man. That's horrible.
Well, she's not calling you back now, so
So maybe that is what I sounded
maybe that is what you sound like. So, I mean, did you really like her, though? I mean, are you upset?
Yeah, no, I definitely thought we had a lot in common, you know. We laughed a bunch. She was definitely cute. She looked like her picture. It wasn't like she was some kind of internet troll and she was trying to be something she wasn't.
Yeah.
She was a totally chill girl. I was totally thought I've been texting her. And I get nothing back, you know, so I don't know.
You know, though, when someone comes with a crazy ex, you got to weigh the pros and cons. You know, the con is obviously the crazy ex, and is it worth it? I'm guessing she's going to go no.
Yeah, that's the way it feels, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. She might think you
it's
have
just-
a little bit of baggage, or maybe you're the crazy one.
Imagine how I feel. I've already got it taken on. It's terrible.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll play a song, come back, call her, and get your second date update, all right?
All right.
All right, man, hang on.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal in the mornings. Second date update.
Right in the middle of a second date update, and if you're just joining us, Kyle is on the phone. Today, he wants to call a girl named Alyssa. They went out for a first date, and unfortunately for him, before his first date, his phone started blowing up, and it was his ex-girlfriend. They've been broken up for like 6 months, but apparently from time to time, she bugs him nonstop, and she was bugging him throughout the date so badly that his date, Alyssa, asked him, like, wow, your phone's blowing up. And so he admitted that, yeah, his ex-girlfriend was bugging him. And then he even showed her the phone because he was frustrated. And they read over the texts. And then he knocked over a bottle of wine. So he thinks that maybe
Weird.
the ex-girlfriend not leaving him alone to have a good date and then knocking over a bottle of wine might have sealed his fate. And that's why he's not getting a call back. Kyle, was everything I said correct right there?
Yeah, except that I knocked over a glass of wine, not a whole bottle.
Oh,
Got
that
it.
is a lot less dramatic. I'll give you that.
That's a lot of bad stuff to happen on a first date. But you know what? I'm going to dial Alyssa's phone number right now, see if we can get her on the phone and find out if that is the reason she's not calling you back, okay?
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Hello?
May I speak to Alyssa, please?
Yeah, I'm Melissa.
Hey, Alyssa, how are you? This is Jubal from Brook and Jubal in the Morning.
The radio station?
Yeah, the entire radio station.
Well,
I mean, why are you calling me?
I just wanted to talk.
yeah, she sounds
Honestly,
excited.
I need somebody to talk to, and I figured I would dial a random phone number, hoping that Alyssa would answer, and it all worked out. Sometimes life is crazy like that, Alyssa.
What's the real reason you're calling me?
Well, because I got an email about you. It's from a guy named Kyle that you went on a date with.
What?
Yeah, you went out with a guy named Kyle a little while ago, right?
Unfortunately, I did.
Okay. So obviously you
glowing.
didn't enjoy your date with Kyle very much.
No.
Well, Kyle enjoyed his date with you, and he liked you a lot, and that's why he emailed us, because he wanted us to see if we could get you on the phone since you haven't been responding to any of his text messages or phone calls or anything like that.
Oh, really?
So do you think you could tell us why you're not wanting to go out with Kyle again?
I don't know that I want to broadcast it. I mean,
Well, you don't have to broadcast it. We will.
I know what you mean. I just don't want to really say it on the radio.
He told us about your date, and I would think from his recap that it would make him look bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you probably already know the reason why. I mean, he's told you about the date.
I'm guessing it's from his ex-girlfriend texting him throughout the date.
He told you about that?
Yeah, he told us about that, and he told us about how he spilt some wine after, too.
And how he handled the ex thing, like showing you the text messages.
I know. And I'm on the first date with this guy. So what are you doing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty boneheaded move, for sure. So that was it then. We should tell him never to show a date the crazy text from your ex-girlfriend that you're getting.
Well, yeah, that's definitely good advice because that wasn't good at all.
Right.
But, you know, I have a crazy ex, so I get it. So we talked about it, and I was like, okay, got to let him off the hook a little. So, maybe he's nervous, whatever.
So wait, you're saying that you moved past that and you were okay with it?
I mean, I wasn't okay with it, but I was willing to, really give him a chance. You know what I mean?
All right. Then what ruined it? The
So
wine?
He blew it again?
Spilling the wine, and you just had it. You're like, dude, that was a good glass of wine, you idiot.
Perfectly good wine.
It's a party foul. It's a dating foul. No, it was really the conversation leading up to that. He was very proud of his accomplishments and just talking about how much money he has.
Oh, God.
I mean, to the extent, it's 2 weeks ago, I rented a Learjet or something. It was like a
What?
private jet or something. Yeah, for his boys. And then they flew to Vegas. And then they're popping bottles.
Wow.
So jealous.
I know. I'm actually
You
really
guys-
jealous of him right now.
Both Jose and Jubal want to date him suddenly.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
get why men think that women are only interested in money.
I think it's because he was overcompensating because of the whole ex texting him, and he thought that bothered me.
Oh, so
All
he's
right.
trying to impress you after messing up.
Right.
Yeah, and it obviously didn't work.
No, and that's when the whole wine situation happened, and then I couldn't believe what he did.
What did he do?
So he knocks over the glass of wine. It goes all over the table.
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking, oh, gosh, we got to get the waiter for napkins. So I'm looking for napkins. As I look up, I see him reach in his back pocket, and he has these, like, two $100 bills, and he's dabbing up the wine with money.
No
Shut up.
way.
Oh, my God.
That's
Did you just start
amazing.
laughing? Oh, my God. That is so out of control.
Hundreds?
I even asked her, I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And how did he respond to that?
He said, no, worry about it. I'll take care of it. And that's when the waiter showed up.
Oh, my
I have
God. I'd be mortified.
Met some people who make a lot of money, and I've met some really douchey ones who make a lot of money, but I have never met anybody who would clean up a spill with $100 bills in order to prove to you how rich they are.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it either. And then the waiter's like, is everything okay here?
You're like,
my
no,
God.
this guy's wasting hundreds of dollars
Yeah.
cleaning up wine.
And then he had the nerve to take the soaked $100 bills and give it to the waiter for his tip.
Oh, my God. So, like,
that
take my
sucks.
scraps,
Here's
basically.
crumpling.
Oh,
my
I mean,
God.
granted, I'd still be excited if I was a waiter and I
Oh,
got
I'd be-
$200.
Yeah, I wouldn't care.
I mean, I'd dry it out. It'd be no big deal.
Whatever.
But I couldn't believe what a douche this guy ended up being.
Still $200,
When we
people.
talked to him, he sounded so nice.
I am nice.
Oh,
What was that?
that was Kyle. Kyle, you're supposed to wait until I call you into the conversation. But apparently, when you got a bunch of money, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to listen to the rules.
Kyle, you're on the phone right now?
Yeah, and I'm sorry to jump in like this, but I just had to defend myself. I mean, I am a nice guy. I gave the guy $200.
You did. That's a very nice tip.
Kyle.
Technically.
That was the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to me.
What's embarrassing? It was just a little bit of spilt wine. What's embarrassing about that?
Are you
There's nothing
kidding?
embarrassing about that.
It's not about the wine. You took $200 bills. People don't even have that kind of money, and you soaked it in wine. It's so insulting.
It's not insulting. I promptly gave them to the waiter as a tip. I think that's a very generous tip. I think I was doing a nice thing.
Yeah,
It's a nice tip, but like after using money to clean up wine on a first date, that's kind of a douchey move, man.
Not kind of. Not kind. There's no kind of about that
I realize
statement.
that, but I'm trying to be nice to him so he stays on the phone.
Honestly, I just grabbed it, but I make like 5 times that while we're sitting there eating dinner. So
Oh.
what's the matter?
My God, you are still
Whoa.
bragging. I can't
Ballin'.
even handle you right now.
It's not bragging. It's a fact. I can't help it if that's my life. That's just the way it is. That's just a fact.
Are you guys hearing this guy? This is what my entire date was like. This is exactly what I was talking about.
Look, if you wanted to date somebody poor that acts all poor, then you shouldn't have been on a date with me.
Dang,
God.
dude.
I don't care about poor or rich. I just want to date a good person.
Yeah.
I'm a good person. I'm a good, rich person. There's nothing wrong with that.
This is why I didn't return your calls, because the way that you talk about it, I mean, it's like I liked you before you started bragging about being loaded.
I wasn't bragging about anything. I was just telling you about my life. That's just how it is.
Kyle,
I wasn't bragging about anything.
you obviously have some insecurities, and that's why you're trying to make up for it with money. Like, I get that, but are you hearing what she's saying? Like, people can actually just like you for you. I think that's a positive thing.
I totally agree.
People do like me for me. It's just that I come with a lot of money. It's just people like me. It's part of me is all this money.
Oh, my God. You're so bragging right now. And you know what, guys? You haven't even heard the worst of what he said.
There's
It gets worse?
How?
What? What did I say?
I don't know how we got on this conversation, but I asked what his favorite things were, and he replied, commas.
What?
Commas?
Like he's into
Yeah, commas, because he wants to get as many commas in his bank account as possible.
Oh my God.
You didn't say that, Kyle, did you?
That is so bad.
Hey, man, everybody's got to have goals, and I got goals. More commas. That's my goal, man.
But nobody is attracted to a person whose passion is just money.
You haven't been on a date with me. Once you go on a date with me, you'll forget about everything except the money.
Oh.
Well, speaking of dates, Alyssa, would you like to go out on a second date with Kyle?
gosh.
He will pay for it. I'm not paying for
Yeah,
anything with you,
that's-
Kyle.
That's
No.
a good point, Jubal.
Why should I? Kyle's got all the money in the world.
He's got all those commas.
Would you like to go out with him?
You know what? He may have all the money in the world, but he has no class, so no.
Oh,
Yeah.
no way.
Didn't see that one coming.
Well, you blew it, sweetheart. It's your loss.
Oh, man, and the sweetheart, too.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, no second date for you, Kyle.
Oh.
Whatever. I'll go buy a second date somewhere else. I'm not worried about it.
I can't even believe this guy. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. But I do want to use that commas line at some point in my life.
Oh.
Thanks for that, Kyle.
Brooke and Jubal in the morning.
Text in at 78592 that says, is Kyle interested in dating a fat, hairy, 25-year-old man?
Oh.
No touching, though, but I would like to date him. Another text that says, that guy really makes me wish I was a gold digger.
Yeah.
But the douchebaggery was just too real
God,
for me to handle.
Seriously, who could put up with that?
Talking
Oh,
about
my gosh.
today's second date update. Of course, this guy Kyle wanted to call a girl named Melissa. They went out for dinner. He thought the reason that she wasn't calling back was because he was getting blown up by his ex the whole time.
Yeah, which is awkward.
Which is awkward, yeah.
And a pretty good reason not to call somebody
Yeah.
back, especially when he showed her the text
Yeah.
messages from his crazy ex.
And she said that that was a little weird, but she was fine with it. But the worst part of the date was we're thinking maybe he was insecure, trying to overcompensate, or maybe that's just him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he was trying to show off how much money he had. They spilled wine at one point, and he took out $200 bills from his pocket and cleaned up the wine with that money and then gave it as a tip to the waiter.
Really, bro? I mean, come
And
on.
let's be honest, how absorbent could those things be?
Not
I
that
just
Not very
really
absorbent, no.
feel like there was a lot of wine still left on the table.
Yeah,
So it's
right?
not even just the douche part. It's like, that's actually not the best way to do
It's
this.
just not logical.
Some paper towels probably would be better.
Yeah, and
you know?
money is so dirty.
And I guess the whole time he just kept talking about how much money he had. It probably delivered one of my favorite lines that
Yeah.
I've heard
Yeah.
that I have to figure out how to work into a conversation. At one point, she asked him what his favorite things are. And he said, commas. I love commas because I'm just trying to get as many commas in my bank account as possible.
Oh my god, if someone said that to me, I'd be like, commas. Is that like a new rapper that I don't know about or something?
No, I just want commas in my
Yeah.
bank account because I'm a baller. And a lot of people are texting in at 78592 asking to date Kyle. Because you know if you date him, you can just take him for all his money.
And he doesn't care.
He doesn't care
Yeah,
either. Yeah,
so
he knows
gross,
it. So
dude.
you know the deal going into that. Remember, if you want a second date update, all you have to do is email the show, and we will call the person who didn't call you back.
Moving